All right, the Pacific Pep Band with the national anthem, and welcome officially to the Kansas City Roos and the Pacific Tigers as we'll introduce the starting lineups. First for the visitors, and I did not check. On the lineup, so we'll just have to wait for them to come out. But as they come out, we'll go ahead and officially introduce them. Emily Ivory first out, the 5'5" sophomore out of Davenport, Iowa. She'll be joined inside by Cristina Soriano, the 6'5" senior. She's a Spaniard. Valladolid, Spain. Out next, Erica Mattingly, number 14 she wears, 5'7" senior out of Wichita. Went to Wichita High School there, and then Wally Zach, the 6' senior out of Des Moines, will join the starting crew. And then the lights went out, and I didn't see who was the fifth starter. We'll get that when the lights come back on after the Tigers are introduced. This is a new feature this year that the Tigers starting lineup will be introduced with the lights out. A lot of arenas doing that now. As a video plays in the darkened arena here at the newly renovated Spanos Center on campus. The arena, about 30 years old, and underwent brand new lighting this summer. In fact, the lighting just was recently finished. The project took a little bit longer than anticipated, but the Spanos Center looks brand new under this new lighting that's probably 4 times brighter than what it used to be. It's a beautiful job when you walk into the arena, and then you couple that with the new floor the Tigers have this year with the new PowerCAD logo at center court and the new WCC logo just inside the free throw lines, and then a black and gray stripe, modulating stripe in the key. All right, so the Tigers, as the lights come back on, it was just for the video. First out will be Brooklyn McDavid, the junior 6'1" forward out of Bishop Alamany High School, Studio City in Southern California. McDavid, 15 points a game for the Tigers last year, 6 rebounds a contest. Sophie Triggerson, the Denmark native, the redshirt senior, next out, 6-footer. Jessica Blakesley, the senior out of Mercer Island, Washington, 3-point specialist for the Tigers, 5'10" guard. And then Kaylin Randall will get a start tonight, the sophomore out of nearby Turlock, California. And Valerie Higgins, the terrific junior out of Granada Hills, by way of the University of Southern California. Higgins, 6'1", redshirt junior officially this year. Again, just inside of 17 points a game last year for the Tigers, 9 rebounds a contest as well. She led the Tigers in both of those categories, shot 47% from the floor. The Tigers last year averaged 73 points a game. Kansas City scores at a 76-point clip. They like to get up and down the court, obviously, and then there'll be should be an entertaining game. Both teams break the huddle. Let's see that fifth starter for Kansas City. My apologies. It is Jada Mickens. She's a 6' junior out of Liberal, Kansas. One of 6 new faces for J.C. Hoyt. The tip is up. It's going to come into the backcourt. The Tigers, wearing the home white, will secure it in the backcourt and go on offense first. Man-to-man pressure as Blakesley cuts back door. Tough pass by Triggerson. It's deflected. No, it's not deflected. It went off of the Tigers, I think. Yes, it is a turnover. So on the first possession, the Tigers turn it over. A dangerous pass there by Triggerson from the top of the key. Blakesley was not really open, cutting back door off that right side angle. The Roos with a double high post. They go on the left wing feed to Mattingly. Looks to drive baseline, gets there, puts it up off the glass and scored. She's going to draw the foul as well. It's an and one opportunity for Erica Mattingly, the 5'7" senior. Randall is going to pick up the personal foul. Her first, team first, of course. And Mattingly, the terrific free throw shooter. She doesn't do anything poorly. Just a sensational basketball player. does miss the free throw. Tigers get the rebound. It's Higgins with the tap off the glass to secure it. Now the Tigers in the weave out on the perimeter. Look for McDavid off the left wing. Turnaround jumper. There is good. It's the patented Brooklyn McDavid 15-foot fadeaway. That time off the left side angle. And the Tigers draw their first points of the season officially with that Brooklyn McDavid turnaround jumper. Kansas City back on possession. Tigers man-to-man as they typically play. Mattingly off the right side. Gets a big pick there from the Spaniard. Christina Soriano. Tigers defend it well. Ball still out there with Emily Ivory. Tries to get it into Soriano. Does so, and a spin move with the right hand. Gets the friendly roll and the basket. So it's a 4-2 Kansas City lead as the Tigers with Higgins up top. Right wing feed to Blakesley. Now the Brooklyn McDavid pull-up jumper there off the... Nope, it's going to settle in. Hit the iron and then the backboard and then curled in the backcourt. Tigers are going to throw some pressure on. Mattingly up the left sideline to Ivory. She's going to cast it from long. Three is good. A high arcing three. Emily Ivory, the sophomore from Davenport, Iowa, drains it there. And that makes it a 7-4 Kansas City lead. Higgins into the key, dribbles the ball off her foot, secures it, and then a bounce pass, a dangerous one to a cutting Rondawa along the baseline is a turnover on the Tigers. That was a dangerous play as well, but Higgins was trapped after she lost control of the dribble, came to a stop, and was double teamed for a moment. Had to look for a teammate, but Tigers turn it over for the second time. Ivory's going to get a pick on the right side. Doesn't use it. Instead, drives and is cut off. So they come back up top for a three ball by Ajak. No good. Flying to the board is Higgins. Triggerson looks for Blakesley in the left corner. Back to Sophie. Now she'll come on top to Higgins, and the Tigers swing it on the right side perimeter at the three-point line for Rondawa. Blakesley looking for a Higgins screen. It's a little pick and roll action to Valerie. Dump off pass to McDavid, who scores along the baseline. Off the right side baseline, about 12 feet away. McDavid's got the bucket. Kansas City in the corner, and Ivory having trouble with the ball, gets it out to a teammate. That's a slash off the glass, no good there by Mickens. She misses the shot, the rebound goes out of bounds. It'll be Tiger basketball. Well, we've played just about 3 minutes. It's a 7-6 ball game. Off the turnover, Kansas City now in transition. Emily Ivory finds Ajak on the right side. Now they swing it to Mickens. She's going to drive baseline. Her pass is to nobody except for Sophie Triggerson, who's got the white jersey on. Turnover, Kansas City. Triggerson in transition. Shot from three goes in and out. Tough break for Sophie. With a rebound goes Soriano up the court. Wild shot inside, misses that time by Mattingly. Then Tigers get the rebound. This one is up and down at the moment. Higgins leans in, got some contact, no foul call. Shot would not go. Tough scoop shot there that just missed off the iron. And Kansas City will set it up now in transition. Both teams huffing and puffing a bit here. Ball deflects out of bounds by Triggerson off of Sophie. Kansas City maintains possession. Savannah Whitehead will check in for the Tigers. Brooklyn McDavid will get a quick rest here. Don't have live stats up yet. We'll have to check on that at the break. Mattingly gets a pick up top on the right elbow, then pushes off as she drives, and the Tigers are going to get called for a foul here. Almost looked like a push off there by Mattingly, but instead the Tigers draw the whistle. It's going to be Rondawa's second personal foul, and that'll get Liana Tillman into the game. Bradley Davis wants to get a clarification on that call up in front of me. Talking to Teresa Turner. Kansas City will get a substitution as Ajak comes out. Janae Johnson checks in. Ball deflects off of Blakesley out of bounds. Kansas City maintains possession. So Janae Johnson in the game for Kansas City. She's a 5'7" sophomore. Kenwood Academy High School in the Chicago area. Averaged about 3 points a game for Kansas City last year. High-low inside. Soriano stepped out of bounds first, I believe. Now they're going to call a foul on the Tigers. Ryan Woods looked like he was going to signal that she had stepped out. She was well under the basket standard, but did a nice job to get her body back in position to bank it off the window. In the meantime, the Tigers also fouled her. So score the bucket. It's a 9-6 Rouge lead. Soriano drains the free throw as well. Only 47% at the charity stripe last year, but she drained that one. 3-point play. It's 10-6 Kansas City with a 4-point lead. Triggetson has the ball poked away from by Mattingly. It's Tiger basketball along the left baseline here with 5:48 remaining first quarter. Whitehead goes down with some contact from Soriano, I believe, away from the basketball. It's going to be on Mattingly. It was away from the action. Soriano had a peculiar look. I thought maybe it was her, but Mattingly picks up her first personal foul. So Triggetson will bring it in. Tigers come up top to Tillman. Strong pick there by Whitehead. Tillman misses the layup. She used the pick and roll beautifully, got to the rack. Nobody was there, and she just missed the shot. Tilly would like to have that one back without question. Mattingly on the right wing. Tigers over defend on that potential pick there. Blakesley did a nice job getting high up on that offensive player to avoid getting picked off. Right wing, Mickens going to go to the basket. Shot no good. Ball goes off of Mickens out of bounds. Nice drive by Jada Mickens. Got a good quick first step there and got past the Tiger defense. Just missed the shot. Again, live stats not up.
No live stats, Chris. Just FYI. I don't have live stats. You guys have it?
Check on the live stats for you here. Trigetson's going to fire from three. Miss off the front iron, no good. Blakesley went down with the offensive rebound, nothing called. In transition, Kansas City gets the ball to Mattingly as it squirted through the key there, and then a nice move inside. Tasia Foster-Walker's checked in, number 23. She's a freshman. A lot of energy off the bench for Coach Hoyt and the Rouge. Here's a three ball by Tillman in the left corner, right in front of the Rouge bench. So the Tigers drain one from downtown finally, and it's a 12-9 ball game. Kansas City up by 3, 4:15 to go, opening quarter from Stockton tonight. Janae Johnson has trouble out there. Triggetson fighting for the ball, and a quick reach in ties it up. It's a jump ball called. Tasia Foster-Walker was tied up there by the Tigers' Triggetson. Possession arrow favoring Kansas City, and we get our first break. And that'll turn into a media timeout with 4:05 left. Opening quarter, Kansas City 12, Pacific 9 in the opening game of the preseason WNIT. From Stockton tonight, along the Pacific Tigers Digital Network. a lot of talented water polo teams and come out and watch it. Very exciting and fun to watch. Off of the timeout, Mattingly throws it inbounds. Brooklyn McDavid is checked back in for the Tigers. She intercepts the pass, and it's a turnover on Kansas City. Tigers have McDavid out there with Whitehead, Tillman, Triggetson, and Blakesley at the moment. Inside of 4 minutes to go in the quarter. Tigers 4 of 10 so far from the field. McDavid off the glass is fouled, and she'll bank it in as well. It's an and one opportunity for the junior, Brooklyn McDavid. Brooklyn's got 8 of the Tigers' points so far. She's a perfect 4 for 4 from the field. I mentioned the Tigers 4 of 10. Now they're 5 of 11 officially from the floor as McDavid, the good free throw shooter, drains the free throw. 67% last year for McDavid at the charity stripe. Mattingly stutter steps, comes across the timeline, beats Tillman. Pass goes out on the perimeter. Tigers man-to-man defense. Coach Davis up in front of me. I have a hard time seeing around him, but now we have some vision. Taylor Larson's checked in for the Roos off of the timeout. Nice defense, but Triggetson then reached in at the last second and got armed. And 2 free throws for Janae Johnson will be upcoming for Kansas City. Izzy Newman will get her first appearance of the 2019 year. Triggetson will come out. Sophie, I believe, is picked up her first personal foul there. Yes, 4th team foul on the Tigers. Kansas City has 2 team fouls with 3:22 left. Johnson with a free throw. Kansas City up 14-12, 2-point advantage. Newman breaks free off a nice pass from Whitehead inside. Then McDavid's put back no good. Felt the pressure on the backside. It went off of one of the Kansas City players out of bounds. So the Tigers, with 19 seconds on the shot clock, will inbound it along the baseline. Tillman looks up top to Blakesley. She's got it and gets it into McDavid. Is tripped as she went to the basket. It's going to get a couple of free throws here. She went down to the floor and will get the foul call. So Brooklyn will get back to the free throw line. There we go. Got some live stats up. And it's a new format this year, so that will take some getting used to as well. McDavid's free throw is too strong. She'll get a second. Tigers trailing by 2. They have not led in this contest to this point with 3:04 remaining, opening quarter. McDavid gets the second free throw, 1 of 2 for Brooklyn. She's got 9 points in the ball game. Tigers trail by 1 as Erica Mattingly brings the ball across the half-court line, hands off to Emily Ivory. She's going to go up for a shot. It's deflected and stolen by the Tigers. Nice defense by Blakesley there. And the Tigers force the 3rd turnover on Kansas City. Shot on the perimeter misses. The long rebound goes out in the corner. It's going to be Kansas City basketball. Well, we're going to get our first look at Callie Kaiser officially, the redshirt transfer from Colorado State. She sat out last year along with Sophie Triggetson. And Kaiser, a physical player. She is fun to watch. High energy, 5'10" guard. She hails from Broomfield, Colorado. Averaged about 4 points a game for the Rams in her prior year that she played. Tigers almost got a steal there, but couldn't quite secure it. Kansas City gets the ball down low. Now it's loose on the floor. McDavid's hovering it, trying to grab it, squeezing it. Tigers want a timeout. They finally get the call. Brooklyn had it for probably 3 or 4 seconds, tried to pass it out, and then ends up getting the timeout call. So the Tigers will secure the possession. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. 2:10 to go. First quarter. Kansas City maintaining a 1-point lead. It's game gotten a little sloppy here in the last few minutes after up and down action for the first 5 or 6 minutes of this quarter. Kansas City, who shoots at about a 33% clip from downtown last year, 32.8% to be exact. Here tonight, we've only got off 2 3-point shot attempts. The Tigers doing a really good job defending, pressuring that 3-point line. 1 of 2 for Kansas City to this point. Rebounds are even at 5 apiece. Kaiser up top with a left-hand dribble. Sees a lane, goes down, has a shot blocked out of bounds. Good interior defense there by Kansas City. Jada Mickens came over to help out and swat that one out of bounds, it looked like. 18 seconds on the shot clock. The Tigers will inbound it. Izzy Newman comes way up top to Blakesley, gets a double screen. And, well, that's Kelly Kaiser. My apologies. They came up top to number 4, not number 14. And Kaiser drains a 3 from straight on angle. And Kelly Kaiser gets her first shot attempt to go. And the Tigers have their first lead of the ball game at 16-14. And now a foul on Pacific as a shot attempt is no good. Well, it was before the shot, I guess. It'll be out of bounds. Out of bounds to Kansas City. No, it will be free throws. It'll be a couple of free throws for Taylor Larson. So Kaiser comes in and promptly hits the 3. For Colorado State, Callie shot 31% from long distance. The scoreboard is incorrect. They're trying to get the score right on your screen. It says 15-14. On the scoreboard inside, it says 14-13 Kansas City. So a lot of kinks needing to get worked out here on opening night. In the bracket of the WNIT, if you've looked at it, the winners and losers of this game will take on the winner and loser of the game tomorrow night up in Corvallis with Oregon State and the UC Irvine Anteaters. All right, we're set now. They're turning off the scoreboard because they can't get the score right, apparently. 16-14 it is. Pacific with the lead. First free throw, no good. Larson with a second. Got that one. 68%er last year. It's 1 out of 2. So it's now I'm even getting confused because I have live stats that say it's 16 apiece. On the screen it says 16-15 Kansas City, but it looks like it should be 16 apiece, and we'll give you the score off the live stats. That should be the accurate one. My apologies there. 25 seconds on the clock as the Tigers inbounded on the right baseline. It comes up top to Higgins. She loses control of the dribble, turns it over. Valerie tried to dribble penetrate and dribbled off somebody's foot. Kansas City forces the turnover. They get the possession back. Tigers have turned it over now for the 4th time, I believe that is. Out on the perimeter, good hands on Awak. Now we'll get a traveling call as Ajak went to the rack. Made a nice move to get around the Tigers' aggressive defense and then traveled as she went to the rack. So Ajak turns it over, the senior. 16 apiece as the Tigers work on the offensive end. Higgins again tries to go down the left side of the lane and leans in and scores off the window. Nicely done by Higgins. Threw a double team late, but avoided the defender and made a nice shot there inside. You see the replay. Mattingly now goes to the rack and off the window from the right side. Mattingly gets it right back for Kansas City, and we're tied at 18. Inside of a minute to go, 40 seconds in the quarter. Baseline, Izzy Newman has the ball poked away by Mattingly. There's a long bounce pass inside. It was a beautiful pass, but couldn't handle by Taylor Larson. Boy, it was a beautiful skip pass from about 25 feet away, and Larson just couldn't handle it. Turnover on the Roos. So Pacific now going to try and go for the last shot. About a 1 second differential between the two clocks, the game clock and shot clock. Tillman putting on a dribbling display up top, shakes and bakes, then has a foul as she went up in the air to shoot a little 15-footer, got fouled from behind, and it's going to be 2 free throws for Leanna Tillman of the Tigers. The 5'9" junior, she's a local product out of Lincoln High School here in Stockton. Shot 76% from the line last year for the Tigers. First free throw is good. That puts the Tigers back on top by 1, 19-18. Second free throw, back iron, no good. Height of the board goes Brooklyn McDavid, misses a putback, and then Higgins is tied up with an offensive rebound with one of the Roos. And then we got a jump ball call, and it's a possession arrow to the Tigers here, so they'll get, with 8.5 seconds, have a chance here to get another look at a basket possibly there. As Ajak got tied up with Higgins. Higgins up top, shakes and bakes behind the back. The perimeter jumper is blocked, and a nice defensive possession there by the Kansas City Roos that ends the first quarter. So we've played 10 minutes of action, and the Tigers with a 1-point lead. It's 19-18 Pacific after 1 quarter in the preseason WNIT from Stockton tonight. We'll take the short break, be back with the second quarter for you in just a moment along the PacificTigers.com.
My name is Brynley Barthels. I came to Pacific because I was actually looking at water polo programs, and it was one of the better programs in the state. And they also had a great science program. So their biology and chemistry departments especially were very rigorous, and something that I knew would prepare me well for my future. When I visited the school, I saw a lot of chemistry labs and the opportunity for people to do research in the chemistry department, and that was something I was really excited about. My research, when I started, we began with peptide synthesis. So basically taking these small building blocks called amino acids, putting them all together and forming long chains. So Alzheimer's in particular is manifested because peptides are created at different lengths. So we are able to take those peptides, recreate them in the lab, and analyze their function and factors that make them non-functional. So my grandma was diagnosed with Alzheimer's a couple years ago, so it's extremely personal to me that, you know, I'm able to take this research that I'm doing and apply it back to my own life. It's humbling and also exciting that I am able to do these small experiments and look at these small peptides and know that somewhere, somehow, someone is going to take my research or the research that my lab is doing and use it on something bigger like these diseases. Perspective.
Back in Stockton, second quarter underway. Soriano hands off to Mattingly. Right corner feed to Ivory. Dribble penetrate, floats up a 15-footer and scores. Nicely done by Emily Ivory of the Roos. That puts Kansas City back on top by 1. 20 to, check that. It says 20 to 18, so my apologies. I guess Kansas City up by 2. I thought it was 19 for the Tigers, but keep getting different scores, both at live stats and in the monitor here in the arena. Nicely done by Callie Kaiser. She goes right to left through the key, puts up a spinning left-hand shot off the window. As you see the replay there, a terrific move by Kaiser. She's got 5 points in the ball game. It's 20 apiece officially here as we get everything synced up. Out on the left wing, Ivory with a quick release. Fires a long distance 3, no good. McDavid tips it over to Kaiser. In transition up the court come the white-clad Pacific Tigers. There's a floater by Tillman off the iron, back iron, no good. to the rebound comes Kansas City's Taylor Larson. Tigers were 7 of 18 in that first quarter, and there's a three-pointer. Ivory, not bashful, came right back down after missing the last one and floated in a three-pointer there. So Kansas City up 23-20. Well, they are relentless. Well-disciplined, well-coached club. As Callie Kaiser goes left wing for Tillman. She's going to fire from three. It's off the front iron, no good. In from the weak side, Higgins poked it away, but Kansas City with a basketball. Up they come. All the way to the rack. No good there by Ajak, and we got a foul call on the Tigers. Bradley Davis up in front of me. Let's see who it's on. Newman for, well, let's see. She's not even out there, is she? Yes, she is. Izzy Newman picks up the personal foul. She'll come out. Callie Kaiser comes out. Sophie Triggetson back in for the Tigers. Jessica Blakesley back in for the Tigers as well. Kansas City looking to expand on the three-point lead, and Soriano drills the free throw. 6 points in the ball game now for the senior from Spain. Make it 7. She rips both of them through the net. And it's a 25-20 Kansas City lead here. 2 minutes gone, second quarter. Triggetson to the free throw line, pull up and score. Triggetson with a nice aggressive move there offensively, drains the jumper. Triggetson has her first points of the ball game, now 1 of 3 from the floor. 25-22. Tigers trail it by 3. Man-to-man pressure being applied by both squads so far in this one. Soriano posting up inside against Higgins. Tillman helps, then gets out on the wing to defend the pass that goes out there. Now the Tigers knock it away. Higgins has the steal. Triggetson fires it up the court to Blakesley, looking for Brooklyn McDavid, who's open inside and avoids the defender and scores. Beautiful pass by Blakesley. Brooklyn gathered the ball and juked the defender up and out of her way before she banked it in short range. McDavid now with 12 points in the ball game for the Tigers. She's got half the Tiger points here as it's 25-24. Kansas City up by 1. Out on the perimeter is a traveling call on Taylor Larson. She had her feet set, got the pass, and then the Tigers got out on her aggressively on the closeout. And she went to make a move to the basket but shuffled that pivot foot. Turnover on Kansas City will be their 6th of the ball game. The Roos were 6 of 11 officially from the field in that first quarter, 1 of 3 from distance. The Tigers were 7 of 18 and 2 of 4. Shot missed. Blakesley gets another offensive rebound for the Tigers. They'll get yet another look at it. Here's Blakesley from the right corner. Shot a little flat. Goes up and over the backboard, out of bounds. So JB has got her first shot off of the ball game with that one. Just a little bit flat. Didn't have the trajectory to even get all the way to the hole there. So Kansas City back on possession. Jada Mickens up top. Lauren West has checked in for Kansas City. 5'11" freshman out of Omaha, Nebraska. Mickens now has her pocket picked by Triggetson. Nice steal by the Tigers up to McDavid, who beats everyone down the court and scores. Brooklyn McDavid has put on a show tonight. She's got 14 points, and the Tigers have retaken the lead here, 26-25. Again, defense creating offense for Pacific off of that turnover. David with 14 points. Triggetson with 2 assists so far in the ball game. Inside of 6 minutes to go, second quarter. Kansas City being deliberate on this possession. Mattingly working up top, and now as the shot clock winds down, she hoists one up. That one didn't have a prayer. Tigers get the rebound. Triggetson switches hands, gets to the free throw line. Now the ball knocked loose. She'll pick up the dribble on the right wing to Higgins. Looking for McDavid at the right elbow. Guarded there, so they come up top and swing it weak side to Blakesley. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Triggetsen's going to step back and drain a three. It's Triggetson pulling the trigger from 20 feet away and draining bottom of the net. And the Tigers have opened up their largest lead of the ball game. It's 29-25 off the terrific shooting of Sophie Triggetson there. Well, we're going to get a foul on the Tigers in transition. Just looked out for a quick minute. Sure who that foul was called on. So the Tigers up by 4 off the Triggetson. Three-point shot. Mattingly at the right elbow, looks for a cutter. Instead has the ball deflected and knocked away by Higgins. Great hustle by Higgins. She went down to the court, found a teammate, and she got poked in the eye, it looked like, and gets up court now. Stutter step to the free throw line. Josephine Millard is checked in for Pacific, the sophomore from Nancy, France. Ball poked loose in front of the Kansas City bench. It's Tiger basketball, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Well, we'll get the media timeout first as Higgins wincing a bit as she comes back. And that 4:34 left here, second quarter. The Tigers up 29-25 in the opening round of the preseason WNIT. From Stockton, we'll take the short break along the Pacific Tigers Digital Network. %39. We'll check that 44%. Getting all these new formatted screens. The live stats is a new format. The software, broadcast software, is of course a new format for us. And now the printed out stats at the breaks are in a different format than we're used to seeing. So I appreciate your patience. That's going to be a foul on Kansas City as somebody pushed Savannah Whitehead down, who was setting a screen. I believe that was Mickens. Mickens picks up her second personal foul there. Kansas City 2 of 6 from the perimeter. The Tigers also 2 of 6. So the Tigers with 11 more field goal opportunities. Get to the turnover numbers for you in a moment. Whitehead spin move. The shot is blocked. It goes out of bounds off of the Tigers, they say. Nice defense inside by Kansas City. (29-25), Pacific up by 4. Kansas City's turned the ball over 9 times so far in the first half. The Tigers have turned it over 4 times. And then the Higgins almost got the steal. Now hustles back to play defense. Tigers up by 1 on the battle of the boards. It's a 10-9 advantage Pacific on the boards at the moment. Mattingly works his way with a left hand. Beautiful move through 2 Tiger defenders, and then the shot misses. It goes out of bounds off of Kansas City. Tiger basketball with 3:42 remaining, second quarter. 29-25. Tigers up by 4. Pacific has the ball to Higgins at the right elbow. Looks to make a move one-on-one. Does so. Goes to the rack. Score the bucket. Foul on Kansas City. And the Tigers will get a free throw and an and-one opportunity for Valerie Higgins. That was on... Foul was on Let's check. Foster Walker, I believe. Emily Ivory back in the game here for Kansas City. Free throw doesn't fall. Tigers lead by 6. It's their largest lead now, 31-25. Ajak checks out. Larson back in for Kansas City. Soriano on the right block. Looks for a cross-wing pass to Mattingly, guarded there by Higgins. Mattingly getting bumped and poked as she drives, and then the ball gets to mid-court line. It's going to be an over and back violation. The ball actually hit the sideline, so turnover on Kansas City. They're now in double digits on the turnovers with 10, with 3:02 left here, second quarter. Tough first game for both squads. Kansas City, after playing their second game, they defeated a very talented Denver team in Kansas City on Tuesday night, 82-78. Reach-in foul on the dribble penetration there by the Tigers. Josephine Miard, she's fouled. Mattingly picks up the personal foul, I believe, and that's going to be her third. Brooklyn McDavid will check in. Kansas City's assistant coach coming over to double check the foul count on Mattingly. She's still out there with 3 fouls if that's the case. There's a step back jumper, short, no good. Beautiful offensive rebound by Jessica Blakesley of the Tigers. Blakesley, a terrific offensive rebounder last year, came alive with her aggressive style, crashing the boards on missed shots. That time she put herself in perfect position for the putback. Tigers convert the offensive rebound into 2. It's an 8-point Tiger lead. Soriano gets the ball inside. Ball deflects out of bounds off of Triggetson. Kansas City will retain possession. Blakesley gets her first points of the ball game with that offensive rebound and putback. Jessica 1 of 2 from the field officially now in the ball game. Kansas City inbounds it to Larson. A return feed is intercepted by Higgins. She's going to try and spin dribble into the key, off the window and score. Beautiful move by Higgins as she got the steal and came up court, and all of a sudden the Tigers have taken control of this ball game and opened it up by a 10-point advantage, 35-25. And the defense for Pacific has just been terrific here in the first half. Coach Bradley Davis will be very happy with his first half defensive performance, as the 30-second coach's timeout will keep the players up. The Tigers on a nice run here. Higgins with 6 points in the ball game after she converts that layup. Tigers 15 of 32 now from the floor. 47% of the ball game. Kansas City with 11 turnovers. Yeah, the Tigers have converted 18 points on those 11 turnovers. That's been the difference in this ball game without question here in the first half. McDavid with 14 points leading the Tigers. Triggetson has 5. Higgins has 6, as I mentioned. Soriano's got 7 points. Ivory with 8 to lead Kansas City. Mattingly with 4. Now we got a foul call on the Tigers. A lot of fouls. This one's on McDavid, I believe. It is on McDavid, her first personal foul. Third team foul inside of 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Aggressive move to the basket. Again, the Tigers are going to get a foul. This time it's going to go on Miard. Tigers overplayed that, gave up baseline there, so Josephine had to come over and help, and as a result committed the foul. But the overplay out there forced the Kansas City player to go baseline and open that up nicely for her. And that would be Taylor Larson, who misses the first free throw. She'll get a second. Larson hails from Huxley, Iowa. Went to Ballard High School there. 68% free throw shooter last year for the Roos. She played about 24 minutes ball game for Coach Hoyt and the Kansas City Roos. Second free throw good, so it's a 9-point Tiger lead, 35-26. Higgins goes cross court for a Triggetson quick fire and scores. That's the quick release that we've been told about. As you saw Higgins fire it over to Triggetson, and she just launched it in a hurry. As you see a replay, look at that catch and shoot. And Triggetson with her shoulders square, perfect form, drains the three-pointer. Tigers have opened this up by a dozen now with 1:20 to go in the quarter. Taylor Larson up top. Across the way to Ajak. Now she terminates the dribble, goes back on top to Ivory. Shakes and bakes, gets a Soriano pick, and then a roll. Her weak side pass is deflected, but the Tigers get the steal. Higgins with the steal, goes down to Brooklyn McDavid, who's wide open and scores! Higgins finds Brooklyn McDavid with a 50-foot pass. She beat everybody down the floor as Soriano was huffing and puffing after committing that turnover, and the Tigers up by 14, 40-26. Ivory launches from three in the right corner, no good. Blakesley with a nice box out, gets the rebound for Pacific. Up the court to Triggetson, in transition, she fires and hits off the left wing. Sophie Triggetson is coming alive in her debut in front of the Pacific fans. She hits back-to-back threes, this time from the left wing, and Triggetson with a beautiful form on the catch and shoot in transition. And the Tigers up by 17 points. It's 43-26. They have blitzed the Roos here in the second quarter. They'll get a 5-second violation. Again, the Tigers defense. Kansas City doesn't have an answer for the quick, aggressive action out there on the perimeter. The Tigers have outscored Kansas City here in the second quarter, 25-8. They've opened up a 17-point lead. Inside of 10 seconds, Higgins has the ball poked away. It goes right to Triggetson. She fires it in! Triggetson has hit 3 threes in the last minute and a half and gives the Tigers a 20-point lead going into halftime. Sophie Triggetson has come alive. And what a beautiful performance here in the first half by the Tigers redshirt senior from Denmark, Sophie Triggetson. And we'll take the quick break. We'll come back with the first half numbers for you as we've reached the halftime here in Stockton. The Pacific Tigers, 46. And the Kansas City Roos, 26. Along the Pacific Tigers Digital Network.
My name is Brynley Barthels. I came to Pacific because I was actually looking at water polo programs, and it was one of the better programs in the state. And they also had a great science program. So their biology and chemistry departments especially were very rigorous and something that I knew would prepare me well for my future. When I visited the school, I saw a lot of chemistry labs and the opportunity for people to do research in the chemistry department, and that was something I was really excited about. My research, when I started, we began with peptide synthesis. So basically taking these small building blocks called amino acids, putting them all together and forming long chains. So Alzheimer's in particular is manifested because peptides are created at different lengths. So we are able to take those peptides, recreate them in the lab, and analyze their function and factors that make them non-functional. So my grandma was diagnosed with Alzheimer's a couple years ago, so it's extremely personal to me that, you know, I'm able to take this research that I'm doing and apply it back to my own life. It's humbling and also exciting that I am able to do these small experiments and look at these small peptides and know that somewhere, somehow, someone is going to take my research or the research that my lab is doing and use it on something bigger like these diseases. Prospective freshmen come in and they're asking, well, why should we choose Pacific? You know, what's the academics like? The first thing I say every time is that the research aspect in the chemistry department especially is very unique. I know a lot of people that go to different schools in California or even in the United States that have never set foot in a research laboratory. The opportunities presented here are extremely important and extremely unique to Pacific. And everyone that asks me, I say the best part about this school is the research aspect, definitely.
players scored in the first half for the Roos. For the Tigers, 19 of 36 from the floor. That's 52.8%. That's toward shooting. 5 of 10 from downtown, 50%. That's thanks to Sophie Triggerson in that second quarter, especially the last couple of minutes where she hit 3 consecutive three-point shots on 4 times down the court there in the last couple of minutes for the Tigers. 3 of 6 at the line were the Pacific Tigers. Individually, Brooklyn McDavid, 16 points for Pacific on 7 of 9 from the floor, 2 of 3 at the free throw line for her 16 points. McDavid has 2 rebounds, both on the offensive end, and has 1 personal foul, got 1 assist, 2 steals in that first half. She played 15 minutes for Coach Bradley Davis. 14 points for Sophie Triggerson. Sophie 5 of 8 officially from the floor. That included 4 of 7 from downtown for Triggerson. For those 14 points, Sophie grabbed a rebound as well, had 2 assists, 2 steals. She played 14 and a half minutes in that first half. After that, the scoring's going to drop down quickly. Tillman with 4 points for the Tigers off the bench on 1 of 5 from the floor, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Liana was 1 of 2 from the three-point line for those 4 points. Callie Kaiser off the bench. In only 4.5 minutes, she scored 4 points for the Tigers on 2 of 3 shooting. And then the other 2 points in that first half belonged to Jessica Blakesley. Jessica was 1 of 2 from the floor, grabbed 3 rebounds, had 2 assists, 1 block shot credited to her. Higgins for Pacific had 6 points in 17.5 minutes. Valerie was 3 of 6 officially from the field, had 4 rebounds in that first half. That led the Tigers in that category, but 3 steals credited to Higgins officially in that first half. She turned it over twice and had 4 assists for Pacific. So Valerie had the 6 points, 4 assists in that first half. The junior from Granada Hills, all West Coast Conference first team and Defensive Player of the Year for the Tigers last year in the conference. If you look at the rebounding numbers, the Tigers officially have a 12-10 advantage. Not a lot of rebounds in that first half, especially when the Tigers shoot 53%, but the Tigers doing a nice job winning the battle of the boards. They're a +2 there. Kansas City only had 1 offensive rebound in that first half. That did lead to 2 points. The Tigers had 5 offensive rebounds, which led to 5 second chance points for Pacific. The turnover numbers was a big one, 13 for Kansas City. Of those 13 rebounds, the Tigers made them pay, turning those into 23 points, and that basically is the difference in this ball game through the first 20 minutes, as the Tigers have a 20-point halftime lead at 46-26. So Kansas City is going to have to get Mattingly involved and quit turning the ball over if they want to get back in this basketball game here in Stockton tonight. Fast break points favor Pacific, 3-zip in points in the paint. The Tigers have done a great job on scoring from inside. They have 18 first half points. 18 of the 46 came in the painted area. Conversely, the Roos have scored 10 points in the paint. 10 of their 26 have come inside. And of course, Soriano doing some damage inside with her 7 points in that area. And then if you look at the bench points, the Tigers outscored the Kansas City bench 8-7 in that first half. Biggest lead, well, is that intermission for the Tigers, 20 points. The biggest lead for Kansas City was 6. That came in the first quarter with 4 at the 4:39 mark. The Tigers rattled off 15 consecutive points to close out that first half. In the last 2 minutes and 16 seconds, they scored 15 points to take control of this basketball game. We've had 5 lead changes here through the first 20 minutes, and the game has been tied 6 times. Kansas City actually has led 10 minutes of this ball game. The Tigers have led 6.5 minutes. But it's 46-26. That's the bottom line here at halftime between the Kansas City Roos and the Pacific Tigers. I mentioned the winner of this game will take on the winner of the Oregon State UC Irvine game. That'll be played tomorrow night up in Corvallis. The loser will take on the loser of tomorrow night's game up in Corvallis. And we anticipate, should the Tigers go on to win this game and Oregon State go on to win their game tomorrow, we would anticipate the Oregon State Pacific matchup on Monday night up in Corvallis. But a lot to be settled still. It's a 20-point halftime lead. We're going to take a short break. Tip-off of the second half is about 6 minutes away. We'll go ahead and play some couple of spots for you while we're waiting to get back underway here at the Spano Center. 46-26 Pacific at intermission. We'll talk to you in just about 5 minutes from now.
Communication skills are key, not only because I'm a communication major, but even our students who are not communication majors, they learn a lot.
If you had an interest in politics or maybe being some type of sports manager or something along those lines, communication can lead you to do those types of things.
The professors here in the communication department really inspired me.
I love this communication major. I was so glad that I picked it.
I'm on the speech and debate team, and I'm a communication major. Being on the speech and debate team also gave me like a lot of opportunities outside of outside of just scholarship opportunities, but like traveling and networking. We did really well this semester. We won almost every single tournament we went to.
A lot of what I do here at Pacific is help with the radio department. I help broadcast some of the games as well as host my own show. I just get to be a part of something that I've never thought I would do.
The class I'm taking right now, writing for media, we've done some script writing. It's been a pretty interesting process, actually one of my favorites.
I just did a social media project for one of my classes, so I learned how to use each of the platforms and what type of language I'm supposed to use on all of them.
I joined the speech and debate team and found out this whole world of communication that was everything I'd enjoyed. Research, looking up concepts, understanding people, and I was like, this is perfect.
Everything we do is communication, from nonverbal communication to intended messages, to the things we wear.
Communication is the essence of everything.
Chose UOP because of the small classroom sizes. I love the idea of the professors, the old slogan, they know who you are, they know your name, and it's more of a friendly, more relaxed atmosphere.
I've loved all the different people that I've been able to meet, people from different backgrounds, from different areas, different countries. Definitely come from all over, and that's even going to influence like where you go to eat on a Friday night or whatever. So like all the different food choices, and then Stockton provides a lot of opportunities for you to go and try new things.
I think Stockton has a very small community feel, and I think that translates over to UOP, how we have a small family environment here.
Also at Rebel Point, that's where they hold lots of festivals out there. This year they had the fireworks over there for 4th of July, and it was really nice to go over there and see the city come together and hang out.
I can't imagine being anywhere else.
I think Stockton has a really bright future because of its people, because of the people that care. Something I learned about Stockton is that there are a lot of hidden gems around the city, and you really have to get out there and just put yourself out there and just explore a little with your friends.
Especially going to UOP, every single year you kind of get more and more of a sense of the city that you live in. It's kind of excessively friendly with the people that I've actually stopped to like talk to and have interactions with. It's really friendly, and there are a lot of people just kind of hidden amongst the ranks that really want to make the city a better place, which I think is actually pretty unique.
I think it's a very personal decision where you decide to go to college and spend those 4 years of your life. At Pacific, you'll get a great education, but you'll also have a really good time. You'll be a part of a really strong and thriving community.
Quickly warming up as they get ready to open up the second half. Kansas City's head coach J.C. Hoyt, I mentioned, is in her third year with the program. Had 11 wins in her first year, 16 wins last year. Kansas City went 16 and 15 in the WAC last year, a fourth place finish. And so, the Tigers, gathered around head coach Bradley Davis, cannot rest on that first half performance. Specifically that second quarter, that was just about as good as you can play. 28-8 run. They forced numerous turnovers, Tigers did, and then in transition, scored inside and out. Kansas City will have first possession here as we open up the second half. Across the way, they'll inbound. Janet Lucas, the director of athletics of the Pacific Tigers, is sitting at midcourt talking to Valerie Higgins at the bottom of the screen there. Well, the Tigers are going to have first possession. My apologies. Kaylin Randhawa, the sophomore from nearby Turlock, will trigger the offense. Blakesley now on the left wing, comes up top to McDavid. Triggerson, Higgins round out the five. Both teams with their starting five, it looks like. Back out there to open up the second half. McDavid off balance, hits nothing but net on the lean in, 15-footer. Tough shot by Brooklyn. She got it to go, and a good sign for the Tigers. They get the first 2 points. So nice awareness there by McDavid on that loose ball as the shot clock was winding down, and she launched it in. McDavid's got 18 points to lead all scorers in this one. Here's Mattingly, finds a lane down the left side. Blakesley with good defense, swats it away and then blocks the shot inside, gets the rebound. Head up dribble as she looks for a teammate in transition. That's Higgins over the right wing for Triggerson. Quick fire from there. That one's off the front iron, no good. Sophie misses her first attempt here in the second half after a blistering second quarter that saw her convert 4 of 7 from the three-point line. Called the foul there on the Tigers. That's going to go on Blakesley, I believe. Having a hard time securing the foul information. In any case, Kansas City with a basketball floater off the window. Nicely done. Off the right side penetration. That was Mattingly who scored. Don't want to wake her up. Up and down, and that's going to be a jump ball call as Brooklyn McDavid had her shot blocked. The momentum of that shot attempt was stifled, and that caused the jump ball call. So it's a turnover officially on the Tigers. The fifth, only the fifth turnover in the basketball game for Pacific. Kansas City with the ball up top. That's Taylor Larson. And Mattingly goes between two defenders. Blakesley bumped her on the move. It's going to be a foul on JB. Third personal on Blakesley. The Mercer Island, Washington native will have to come out here, assuming Coach Davis can get somebody in the game quickly enough. He does. Josephine Miard will check in, the 6'2 sophomore. Blakesley, the only Tiger. Well, Randhawa's got 2 as well. Blakesley picks up 2 quick fouls here in the third quarter. So she'll sit with 8 minutes to go. here in the third quarter. Up top, Kansas City's got the basketball. Tasia Foster Walker. Now over to Mandy Willems. Baseline jumper put up there by Mickens. Missed, no good, as it hit the side of the backboard. No rim touch, and a shot clock violation on Kansas City. They're going to throw some full court pressure. Let's see how the Tigers handle this zone full court pressure. Meillard gets it to Triggetson, and the Tigers do break the pressure. Now they trap in the zone as McDavid turnaround jumper. She's hammered inside. That's going to be a foul on Jada Mickens, the junior from Liberal, Kansas. It's 2 free throws for the Tigers junior, Brooklyn McDavid. McDavid, an all West Coast Conference preseason selection this year. She's also up for the Katrina McLean Award Watch. That's for the top power forwards in the Division I of college basketball. So we'll keep an eye on that as she progresses through that voting as the first few weeks go by. McDavid knocks down both. Brooklyn at 67% last year from the charity stripe. Makes both free throws. That gets the Tigers a 50-28 advantage, 22-point lead. And McDavid now has 20 points in this basketball game. Inside to Larson. Spin move on Triggetson. Now the double team comes over with Randhawa, and one of the Tigers going to get whistled for the foul. You're going to call it on the sophomore, Kaylin Randhawa. That'll be the third foul on Kaylin. So they call the foul from behind there. That'll get Larson to the free throw line for the Roos, first of which is good. Larson, 68% free throw shooter. 5'11" junior. Got the first but misses the second. Meillard with a rebound for the Tigers. Over to Higgins, who will break some token pressure, get all the way to the rack but missed the shot. Inside, McDavid gets the rebound. Putback is in. Great hustle as Brooklyn McDavid just wanted that basketball more than Soriano there. Soriano has about 4 or 5 inches on McDavid, but McDavid went up strong to secure that, and then the putback is good. 22 points for Brooklyn McDavid. Baseline move by Larson, cut off by Higgins. So a long three by Mattingly, rims out, no good. Higgins with a good box out on Larson inside, grabs the rebound for Pacific. In transition to Triggetson, back on top to Higgins. Left corner feed for a Randhawa three-point shot attempt. That's too strong, no good. Kaylin misses her first shot, her first three-point shot attempt. Now here's Higgins in the passing lane, gets the steal, and is cut off by Mattingly and goes out of bounds off of Erica. Tiger basketball. Higgins will have her 4th steal there. Randhawa checks out with the 3 personal fouls. That gets Callie Kaiser, who's instant energy off the bench for the Tigers, into the ball game. The senior from Colorado. It's the feed now over to Higgins. Is wide open inside the 3-point line. That shot misses short. And a good rebound there on the box shot by Mandy Willems, the sophomore out of Ackley, Iowa. Mattingly jukes Blake's the defender up top. That was Kaiser. Mattingly gets the ball back, bowls over Higgins, and a blocking foul on Higgins. Teresa Turner with a call, much to the upset of Bradley Davis, though. Well, the Higgins-Mattingly matchup is a fun one to watch for you basketball purists, and it's a pleasure to watch it away from the basketball. Mattingly tries to come into Soriano. It's an errant pass. Tigers get the steal. Another turnover for Kansas City. What a shot by Higgins from a reverse spinning, not even a layup here. Let's take a look at this. She got clobbered by Soriano and just threw it up off the window from the reverse side. That's just a great basketball play by a great basketball player, Valerie Higgins. Tigers up 54-29. It's a 25-point advantage. 5.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Now a dribble penetration. Mattingly has the ball swatted away at the last minute. 11 seconds on the shot clock, 5:29 remaining in the quarter. Mattingly will look for a teammate. It does come in to a Tasia Foster Walker, who makes a strong move to the basket and lays it in with the left hand. 54-31. Foster Walker has 4 points in the ball game for the blue and gold-clad Roos of Kansas City. Tigers making the zone defense work here as Friggitson misses a shot. McDavid with an offensive rebound. There's another shot by Higgins off of the three-point line. No good. Tigers missed two good looks on that opportunity. Friggitson and Higgins, both from the three-point line, miss. Tasia Foster Walker with a step back two. Tough shot. She drains it. Nicely done there by the freshman from St. Louis. Tigers turn it over as somebody got caught in midair, had nowhere to pass it. Kansas City has Mattingly get a pick from Soriano, hoists it up. That's going to be nothing but off the backboard. It goes out of bounds off of the Tigers. And with 4:29 remaining, Kansas City basketball will get the media timeout as Newman and Whitehead will check in for Pacific. Timeout on the court with 4:29 remaining here in the third quarter. It's been all Pacific Tigers since midway through the second quarter. 54-33 Tigers, a 21-point advantage. And the faithful here in Stockton on the home court are enjoying this one as free t-shirts being tossed out to the crowd. We'll take the short break. We'll be back with more basketball in just a moment. Join the Roar this season by securing your season tickets. Head coach Bradley Davis has the Tigers primed for a thrilling season with a flexible exchange policy and discounted rate. Now is the best time to lock in your seats for the year. The women's basketball season tickets start at just $60 per seat and are now on sale. Head online to PacificTigers.com to secure your seat today. Kansas City basketball. 19 seconds on the shot clock officially as Janae Johnson will bring it in. She throws it off of one of the Tigers, gets the ball back now, and Kansas City will set it up. Man-to-man pressure by Pacific. Janae Johnson finds Willems in the corner. Now they swing it weak side. It deflects off of one of the Tigers. Coach J.C. Hoyt up, not happy with that decision there. So a sideline out of bounds. Only 2 seconds on the shot clock. They'll go inside to Soriano. It's tipped away. Tigers get a steal. It's a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 now as Whitehead joins the group. Banks it in from short range. Nicely executed. Tillman with the assist there. Whitehead with a good hustle. She gets her first points of the basketball game, I do believe. Savannah, a redshirt sophomore from Utah. There's a three-pointer out on the left wing by Mandy Willems. One of the 6 new faces on the Roos squad this year. Willems gets her first points of the ball game into Josephine Miard, who goes to the basket, is knocked to the ground. She's going to get 2 free throws for her efforts. Willems' 3 a moment ago makes it 56-36. It's a 20-point Tiger advantage. Miard at 36% from the line last year. Got the first one to go here. I was mentioning Savannah Whitehead, this redshirt sophomore. She's from Springville, Utah. Sat out last year to complete a Mormon mission. She also got married this summer, so hence the name change from Savannah Assumption to Savannah Whitehead. Her husband plays basketball here in Stockton over at the local junior college at Delta. Traveling violation up top as Tillman was putting good pressure on Janae Johnson, who drug that back pivot foot. So Kansas City continues to struggle with the turnovers here tonight. Tigers have Triggetson out there with Tillman, Whitehead, Meillard, and now Newman. It's a no-look pass cross court for a Newman three-pointer and scored. Tillman with a beautiful no-look pass from sideline to sideline there. Found Newman wide open on the elbow, and Izzy knocks it down. Newman, whose parents are up from Southern California to watch this one, a 6-foot junior. She's out of Simi Valley. Chaminade Prep High School down there, a state champion in her junior year. Three-point shot misses in the corner by Mandy Willems, and the Tigers in transition throw it away. That's an aggressive turnover there. 7 turnovers in the ballgame for the Tigers, 17 for Kansas City. Tigers shooting 49% in this basketball game. Kansas City almost at 46%. But the Tigers have 21 more field goal attempts in this basketball game, mainly due to that 10 turnover differential. Inside to Soriano, Tigers get a tie-up. Soriano brought the ball, tried to catch the ball at her waist, and that gave the Tigers an opportunity to reach in there and tie her up. 6'5" product from Spain. The tie-up gives the forces the jump ball called. Tigers have alternate possession. A long pass by Triggetson is deflected and stolen now by Kansas City. Lauren West with the basketball up top. Works against Newman. Switches over. Now pulls up from distance and scores just inside the three-point line. Lauren West, a freshman out of Omaha, makes it a 61-38 ball game. Tigers lead of 23. Newman fires from three in the right corner. Back-to-back threes for Issy Newman. She shot 27% last year from downtown. Got a very slow start to that shooting percentage last year. It took her all season just to get to 27%. Tonight, she has started just the opposite and is now 2 of 3 from the floor. We've got to count the basket. It's an and one for Kansas City as the Tigers commit a foul on Mandy Willems. The Willems with a bucket. She'll get a free throw as well. Tillman picked up her second assist a moment ago. Both have gone to Newman. Three-point play the old-fashioned way for Kansas City. So it's 64-41. Tigers maintain a 23-point advantage. They put zone full court pressure. Higgins decides to dribble through it. Gets the ball to Tillman in the forecourt. Shake and bake, and the ball deflects out of bounds off of Kansas City. Ryan Woods did not see the deflection, but now gets help from Teresa Turner, who was right in front of that deflection. So they correctly call Pacific basketball. Now we get a sub in for Kansas City. Tigers have Higgins, Meillard, Newman, Whitehead, and Tillman out there. Kansas City brings in Naomi Alnatas, sophomore from French Guiana. It's going to be a shot clock violation on the Tigers, so it'll be Kansas City basketball. So Naomi Alnatas checks in. She's a 5'7" sophomore from Cayenne, French Guiana. One of the 6 new faces for Coach J.C. Hoyt as she looks to get some deep bench players in here late in the third quarter. 48 seconds remain. Whitehead will check out for Pacific. Higgins back in. Kansas City with 24 seconds on the shot clock will trigger it in along the sideline. Lauren West over to Taylor Larson. Now inside to Soriano. We got a foul called. McDavid's going to pick up the personal foul. That'll get Soriano to the free throw line for a pair. For Brooklyn, she picks up personal number 2. Tigers in the penalty as well with 5 team fouls, but it's a shooting foul anyway. So Soriano, who has not missed at the free throw line tonight, makes the first. Second free throw also through. Unusual shooting style, but she's got that perfected, obviously. 5 of 5 at the line tonight. She's got 9 points in the ball game. Has not been a big factor on a consistent basis anyway. What do we got here? Got a whistle. Tiger possession, 21 seconds on the shot clock, about 5 seconds differential. The Tigers will look for a good shot on this possession as Tillman gets the ball to Meillard. Spin dribble, now kick out pass for a look at a long distance 3 in the right corner by Higgins. Score it! Valerie Higgins showing a prowess to want to take that 3-point shot. She did not take that a lot last year, but has been aggressive at the 3-point line in this one. And now a late whistle with 0.3 of a second by Darren Kresnik. He came in late there and said Higgins going to pick up a personal foul, and it's going to be 2 free throws for Kansas City right here at the end of the third quarter. First free throw is good for Larson. Both free throws good by Taylor Larson, and she's got 6 points in the ball game. And the Tigers in the third quarter is it's Pacific 67, Kansas City 45. The Tigers outscore Kansas City 21-19 in that third quarter and hold on to a commanding lead through 3 quarters tonight. From Stockton, the Tigers 67, Kansas City 45. We'll take the short break and be back for the fourth quarter of the preseason WNIT from Stockton, Tigers Digital Network.
At this moment, in Stockton, Sacramento, and San Francisco, a University of the Pacific student has made a decision to learn, live, and lead with purpose in mind. Here, it's all about moments that change lives, families, communities, economies, the world. At University of the Pacific, these moments give life purpose. They give us purpose too. After all, we share one future. Join us, University of the Pacific.
Fine dining to burgers and fries, and 3 new restaurants set to open this winter. They've got the cure to curb your hunger at the Lincoln Center. Also, Tiger fans, mark your calendars for December the 7th and 8th as the university will host the Men's Water Polo NCAA Tournament. Limited, all session passes are available. Visit PacificTigers.com to secure your seat today. Over in Honolulu tonight, the men Tigers have dropped a 10-point decision to the South Dakota Ball Club in the Outrigger Hotel Rainbow Classic, the opening round game there. So the Tigers lose it 72-62 on the men's side. Here, the women, after a blistering second quarter that saw them outscore Kansas City 28-8, taking control of this basketball game and lead it by 22 points as we enter the fourth quarter. Soriano misses a shot inside. Hustling over to secure the rebound is Valerie Higgins. Brings the right-hand dribble out of the pack, looks for a teammate, finds McDavid, fakes the defender Soriano into a foul as the shot attempt falls short. But Brooklyn will get 2 free throws for her efforts. McDavid with 22 points in the basketball game. Triggetson has 14. She had 14 at half. 11 for Higgins. Valerie with 5 rebounds, make it 6 as she secured that rebound a moment ago. So 6 rebounds, 11 points for Higgins. She has 5 steals tonight as McDavid rips the cords on that first free throw. Brooklyn with 23 tonight. She's 5 of 6 at the charity stripe. Both free throws good, and the hard-working Brooklyn McDavid with her father in the crowd tonight. 69-45 Pacific as Taylor Larson goes cross court down into the low post. The Roos swing it for a three-point attempt by West, who drains it. Lauren West, nicely done there. Good ball movement, good patience by the Roos on that possession. And it's 69-48. Kansas City 3 of 10 from distance in this ball game as McDavid turns around, jumper 10 feet away, scores. Higgins with the assist. McDavid has just had a sensational game. She's 10 of 12 from the field. Wild shot out on the perimeter there by Alnadas, does not go. Tillman in transition, pulls up, 1-on-2. Not a good shot selection there by Tilly. Too quick in the shot clock, and nobody back to get a rebound there for the Tigers. So back on defense go the Tigers. There's Higgins getting in the passing lane, anticipating that nicely, gets the steal. 6th steal of the ball game, and this time Higgins takes it coast to coast as the Roos starting to show some fatigue, and probably have now for a little bit of time here as they're having trouble getting back in transition. Higgins with the basket. (73-48), 25-point lead for Pacific. 8 minutes to go in the ball game. Alnadas up top for a 3 there that won't go. Miard had contested that Lauren West three-point shot attempt, and with the rebound, Valerie Higgins of Pacific. McDavid in the high post gets the ball. Left wing pass to Higgins, goes to the rack, throws up a shot, score it! And Higgins will get 2 off the McDavid assist. And it's been Higgins really looking to score in this second half. Nice aggressive move to the basket there. 13 points for Higgins. She'll have a chance at the free throw line to make it 14. As Newman comes in along with Jessica Blakesley. Savannah Whitehead in there with Josephine Miard. And Higgins' free throw misses. So the Tigers (7 of 11 now from the charity stripe). 3-point shot straight on by Mandy Willems is good. Nice shot by the sophomore, the Iowa native. Newman up top as the Tigers run a double stack up top. From Miard now a kick out pass for a Newman 3-point shot attempt that scores it. Izzy Newman has looked terrific. She's hit 3 3-pointers tonight, all from that same spot. Excuse me, 3 of 3 from downtown. Izzy 3 of 4 from the field, but has made all 3 of her 3-point shot attempts. She's got 9 points in the ball game. Tigers back up now by 27. It's their largest lead of the night, 78-51. Going to the rack is Janae Johnson. Now she kicks it out for a 3-point shot attempt that rims out there by Lauren West. Well, we got a whistle underneath. The outside official, Brian Woods, with a call. I think it's going to go on the Tigers. I think it's on Blakesley, in which case it's her 4th personal foul. Well, Kansas City inbounds. Up top they go. Alnadas looking for a posting Tasia Foster-Wachter, who's bodied up and knocked to the ground on the backside there. Darren Krasesnik has the call. It's going to go on Savannah Whitehead. Kansas City will inbound it. Tigers' second team foul through the first 3 minutes, 41 seconds here of the fourth quarter. 6:19 remain, 78-51. Been all Tigers since midway through the second quarter. We were tied after one quarter, 18 apiece. It was a very competitive, balanced first quarter. And then second quarter saw Kansas City start turning the ball over, and the Tigers' defensive intensity that was unmatched. And the offense kick started off with a defensive prowess, and the Tigers have not looked back since midway and late in that second quarter, in which case they outscored Kansas City 28-8 in that second period. 78-51. Blakesley will come out with 4 personal fouls. Kansas City inbounds it. He's going to go for a long distance three up top. No good there by Foster Walker. And the Tigers will slow it down and run the offense. Higgins out there with Newman, Miard, Callie Kaiser, who just checked in. Beautiful feed inside to Higgins. Beautiful patience there by the Tigers. They ran the play beautifully, and Higgins was open inside off that left angle and scored at short range. That was Newman with the pass, one-hand bullet pass inside. Higgins with the basket. Then we got a foul on the Tigers. Valerie Higgins. Valerie picked up her 3rd personal. Higgins has 17 points in the ball game. .540 left. It's all but academic, it appears. Mattingly not in the ball game and hasn't been for several minutes for Kansas City. Coach Hoyt is getting a good look at some of the reserves. Beautiful move going to the basket. A flip shot by Lauren West. Degree of difficulty was quite high on that, but great concentration as she flipped it up off the window to score. West with 4 points in the ball game, I believe it is now. Kaiser misses a shot, and yet another foul by the Tigers. I think Miard's going to pick that one up. And the Tigers are in the penalty with half the quarter to go. Tigers have picked up their 5th team foul, and we'll get the media timeout. At the 5-minute mark exactly, remaining in this basketball game, it's all Pacific Tigers tonight since the second quarter. Tigers 80, Kansas City 53. We'll take the short break along the Tigers Radio Network.
At this moment, in Stockton, Sacramento, and San Francisco, a University of the Pacific student has made a decision to learn, live, and lead with purpose in mind. Here, it's all about moments. Moments that change lives, families, communities, economies, the world. At University of the Pacific, these moments give life purpose. They give us purpose, too. After all, we share one future. Join us. University of the Pacific.
Center. Kansas City 17 of 36 from the field in this basketball game. That's 47%. 5 of 17 from beyond the arc. 29.5%. Done a nice job at the free throw line, converting 14 of 17 free throws in this one. The Tigers, meanwhile, are at 31 of 56. They are blistering the nets at 55.5% for this basketball game. They've hit 9 of 18 from the three-point line as well. And they've got to the charity stripe 13 attempts. They've made 9 of 13 there. Tigers have out-rebounded Kansas City as well, 22-16. But the story of the ball game, or one of the storylines, is 21 now turnovers on Kansas City to only 9 for the Tigers. Pacific has scored 34 points off of 21 Kansas City turnovers. Kansas City is led in scoring by both Mandy Willems and Christina Soriano, both with 9 points. Ivory's got 8. Lauren West now with 8 points. She got 1 of 2 on that trip. We got another whistle. This one's going to go on Kansas City. Tasia Foster Walker, the freshman, picks up the personal foul there. Third team foul on Kansas City. Callie Kaiser will bring it in. Randhawa up top. The Tigers have Whitehead out there with Newman. Savannah gets a nice return pass, makes a move inside, and then has her shot blocked. Goes out of bounds off of the Tigers, they say. Good defense by Tasia Foster Walker there. Bradley Davis wanted a foul call. Not going to get it. Coach in a 26-point ball game with 4.5 minutes to go. Up top, Foster Walker gives off to Lauren West, makes a move, and then a kick-out pass. Comes back up on top. Mandy Willems will fire from long three. That's an air ball out of bounds. That was probably 4 or 5 feet from beyond the arc there, and was about 3 feet short of the basket. Tigers forcing, looking at some zone pressure here in the backcourt. Randhawa finds Callie Kaiser. Dribble penetrate, kicks out to Newman. She's hit 3 from there tonight. Make it 4. Issy Newman, 4 3-pointers from that right corner. I think she's found a spot she likes there. What do you think? Newman almost intercepts the cross-court pass. Can't handle it. Kansas City will inbound with 25 seconds on the shot clock and 3:54 remaining in the game. Newman with perfect 4 from that right corner. The Tigers have hit 10 of 19 now from the 3-point line. Kaiser to the boards off the Mandy Willems miss. And the Tigers bring it into the forecourt, working against man-to-man pressure here. Both teams have emptied the bench to let some of the reserves finish this one. Whitehead's cut off, gets the ball to Millard, and then goes to the rack. Shot is contested and missed, gets her own rebound. The second shot is blocked beautifully by Tasia Foster Walker. The long arms of Foster Walker there. Went straight up, had a beautiful clean block. In Kansas City with possession. They'll swing it on the perimeter. Now back up top to Mandy Willems. Right angle feed there to Janae Johnson. Just trying to take some time off the clock and work the offense for a good shot here on this trip down. 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Hippity hop into the lane. A flip shot, no good. It's short. By there, Johnson misses the shot. Tigers with the rebound. Now set it up. Good patience by Millard. She had a look at about a 12-footer. Didn't take it. Tigers will run a play set instead as Randhawa, long arms, goes to the rack, has the shot blocked by one of the Roos there. And in possession, a bad pass out on the right wing is a turnover on Mandy Willems. And turnover number 22 on Kansas City tonight. With 2.5 to go, Emily Ivory is going to check in. Willems will take a breather. Probably, well, don't know if we'll see her again tonight. 2-2-1 full court zone pressure. Tigers break it. Newman makes a beautiful feed to Randhawa, who loses the ball, but was tipped out of bounds by Tasia Foster Walker there, so the Tigers retain. Tigers did a nice job to break that press and had Randhawa just had the ball slip out of her. Kaiser up top, works there against Alnadas. Beautiful move with the left hand by Kaylin Randhawa. Beautiful move by Kaylin with the left hand. Shot blocked. Tigers have it inside of 2 minutes to go. Sam Ashby is going to get her first minutes out on the court in Division I college basketball as a freshman in the next break. Kaiser makes the flip shot inside. And it's an 87-54 ball game. 1:40 to go. Hopefully we get a stoppage here. So Ashby and now Ennis are both going to enter the ball game. A long distance three is good by Ivory. Boy, she really has a high arcing 3-point shot. Coach Davis just wants a substitution timeout. He gets it. But that will turn into a media timeout since it's our first whistle since the 5-minute mark. Brian Woods with the call. So we'll get the first minutes of the Division I careers for both Madeline Ennis, a 5'11 freshman out of Burlingame, went to St. Ignatius Prep High School in the city. And then Sam Ashby, a 5'9 guard out of Perth, Australia. So they'll both get their first college experience officially here tonight against the Kansas City Roos. As in Kangaroos, 87-57. The Tigers have outscored Kansas City here in the fourth quarter, 20-12. It was a good ball game early on, 18 apiece after the first quarter, and then the Tigers went on a 28-8 blitz in that second quarter to take a 46-26 halftime lead, largely in part to some tremendous shooting by both Brooklyn McDavid and Sophie Triggetson. Triggetson had 4 3-pointers, 3 consecutive late in that second quarter in transition. Brooklyn with 26 points tonight to lead all scorers, 17 for Higgins, 14 for Triggetson, and Newman with 4 3-pointers is in double figures with 12. Emily Ivory, the lone Roo, in double figures with 11. However, a couple of players knocking on the door with 9 points. Mandy Willems and Soriano, but both are out. All right, Cassidy Johnson comes in as well, the 6'5 Utah native who redshirted last year after shoulder surgery. Puts it in from inside, and good for Cassidy Johnson. How about that? Nice entry pass and strong move inside. And CJ, as I call her, has her first college points with 1 minute to go in the ballgame. 89-57. There's a long three by Ivory, and she drains it. Ivory has a quick trigger herself. He hits yet another 3-point shot there. 14 points for Ivory. 89-60. Ashby gets the ball. Left-hand dribble to the lane. Down to CJ. She's wide open. Pulls up the jumper. A little bit too strong. Callie Kaiser hustles to the board. Here's Ashby with a jump shot. Misses badly off to the right. So her first shot will... Coach Hoyt now calls a timeout for a teaching moment with Tasia Foster-Walker. So she's going to get the most out of her timeouts. She called that as Kansas City was in transition. In any case, Ashby misses her first shot attempt. Cassidy Johnson gets her first points as a Pacific Tiger. Johnson, a 6'5 product out of Lehi, Utah. Well, everybody that's played tonight, with the exception of Ashby now, and Ennis officially have scored. Soriano back in the game. She's directing traffic. Now goes on the left wing. Cross-court pass to Ivory, and Kaiser anticipated that nicely and poked it out of bounds. 10 seconds on the shot clock. 14 remain in the ball game. And the Tigers will await to see who wins the ball game tomorrow night up in Corvallis between Oregon State and UC Irvine. That should be a good ball game. Kaiser steps in the passing lane, intercepts it, and will dribble this one out, I would suspect. They're not going to even put up a shot attempt. And the Tigers are going to open up the 2019 campaign in victory. A very impressive win over the University of Missouri Kansas City. It's an 89-60 final score. The Tigers with a 29-point advantage. And they will move on to the WNIT second round game And we'll find out who that is officially late tomorrow night as the Tigers ride Brooklyn McDavid's 26 points. Valerie Higgins, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 6 steals. And Sophie Trigginson, 14 points. Isabel Newman with a dozen points. And this one is officially over. The win is in the books, and we will get Bradley Davis over courtside. All right, Coach, how does that sound?
I can hear you a little bit.
A little bit, all right. We'll turn it up. Congratulations, big win by the Tigers tonight. 89-60, boy, what opened up as a tough ball game, 18 apiece after the first quarter. That was a very entertaining first quarter, a little sluggish, but you were kind of both feeling each other out in that first quarter.
Yeah, I think we stepped up our defensive intensity a little bit in that second quarter, and it kind of got us some easy looks, and Sophie got hot from three-point land and just kind of broke it open a little bit.
Yeah, that second quarter, let's talk about that defense. You guys, I don't know what you said, but the perimeter defense especially, hands in the passing lane, and the defense was terrific, creating the steals. And then in transition, the Tigers looked terrific offensively. You're scoring a lot of points off of turnovers.
Yeah, the lineup that was in really started. It was a pretty long lineup for us, at least against them. And defensively, that's what starts our transition and gets us going. And we did a good job of getting on the boards as well. And then, when you start feeling it from outside, it's just kind of contagious. So, kudos to the group. We subbed in quite a bit there in that first half and found a rhythm and found a lineup.
Yeah, it was just everybody taking part in that great defensive pressure. Brooklyn McDavid in that first half really established herself inside and didn't miss a shot, I don't think, in that first half, but she was terrific. I think 14 first half points, but she was stable to get the offense going early.
Yeah, I think that's really what opened things up, other than some transition looks, is the fact that she got going inside and made those outside defenders kind of come in, or at least look in a little bit, open things up for us a little bit on the outside.
I want to talk about your defense on Mattingly. She was never really a factor in this game. The leading scorer and one of the top players, certainly in the WAC for sure, and 20 points on average. She really never a factor in this ball game. She didn't look like she was really looking for a shot early, but the Tigers were harassing her, especially Higgins' defense on her was something to watch away from the ball on that.
No, I thought our length bothered her a little bit, but you're not going to get 3 for 8 out of Erica Mattingly very often. We got a fortunate night because we did some things defensively, but she had a little bit of an off night as well.
All right, and then the Tigers, you mentioned the rebounds in the pregame show a little bit. Not a lot of rebounds to be had in that first half, and the Tigers do win the battle of the boards tonight. That never really seemed to be a concern for you, but the turnovers for Kansas City, that differential was the difference in the ball game, and you got to be really pleased overall tonight with that defensive effort.
Yeah, and that's, really at the beginning of the season we talked about it. It's going to be the effort and the work ethic that's going to carry you through. So the defensive intensity and that work ethic we were really pleased with.
And Valerie Higgins, another all-around performance. I mean, she came alive offensively. It looked like she was looking for a shot a little bit more in that second half, especially at the three-point line. But she continues to get in the passing lanes. I think she had 7 steals tonight, in addition to 7 or 8 rebounds. And what she ended up with point-wise, I think 11 points. So just an all-around game from your top defender in the conference coming back this year, looking tremendous so far.
Yeah, she bobbled a couple balls there early, trying to go from the elbow, from the pinch post area. But once she got it going, she was pretty good.
And overall, the Tigers from downtown shoot. You had 10 3-pointers, I think, tonight, 10 of 19 officially. 19. Izzy Newman got in off the bench and hit 4 of them. Yeah, that one same spot.
I mean, she found a spot and she stayed with it. That's what you do, right?
All right, so big win tonight in 89-60. Now you wait, right? You have to wait to see who wins tomorrow night up in Corvallis.
Yeah.
And assuming Oregon State wins, then you go up to Oregon State and take them on probably Monday night?
Yes, it'd probably be Monday night, but we'll wait and see. I think that's kind of the initial word that we heard is the most likely game will be Monday if we won. So.
All right.
Wait and see.
All right, great effort tonight, all-around effort. Everybody came in and scored, with excepting your freshman. They got in there with a minute to go.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great way to get the season off. A big win tonight for the ball club. Congratulations.
Thanks, Don.
All right. Bradley Davis courtside joining us, and we'll go through the numbers real quick for you. The final numbers, Kansas City shoots 19 of 42 officially from the floor. That's 45%, so not bad shooting there. They 7 of 22 from downtown. That was 32%. And then a really nice job at the charity stripe, shooting 15 of 19 officially there, and that was 79%. They were led by Emily Ivory officially of 14 points, 9 points for Soriano, and as well as Mandy Willems, 8 points for Lauren West, and then 6 points apiece for Larson, Foster Walker, and Erica Mattingly. And that, when you said Erica Mattingly was only going to score 6 points before this game, the Tigers would obviously have taken that, but tremendous pressure by the Tigers to follow her around and keep her under control tonight. The Tigers were led by 26 points by Brooklyn McDavid, and by the way, as a team, the Tigers were 35 of 64 in this basketball game. That's nearly 55%, so unbelievable shooting. 10 of 19, as we talked to the coach about, from distance, and 9 of 13 at the free throw line. So just tremendous shooting all the way around. McDavid's 26 points led the way for Pacific. Brooklyn was 10 of 12 from the field, 6 of 7 at the line, had 4 rebounds and 2 steals in her 24 minutes of action tonight. 17 points for Valerie Higgins. Higgins, an all-around great game, played tremendous defense, had 6 steals tonight, 5 assists, and 7 rebounds to go with those 17 points. Valerie officially, shooting-wise, was 8 of 14 from the floor tonight and 1 of 2 from distance. 12 points for Isabel Newman. Izzy off the bench, converted all 4 of her 3-point shots. She was officially 4 of 5 from the field in this one. And after the 12 points by Newman, then it dropped down quickly, not a point left, but Callie Kaiser had 6 points off the bench tonight on 3 of 5 shooting. And then Miard and Johnson, Cassidy Johnson with 2 points apiece. Savannah Whitehead had 2 points for the Tigers. Kaylin Randhawa had 2 points for Pacific. And then Jessica Blakesley only got 3 shots off tonight, was 1 of 3 from the floor officially, scored 2 points. That was an offensive rebound putback. Jess had 4 rebounds for the Tigers, 2 assists tonight in her 18 minutes of action. She was limited in playing time a lot by her early foul trouble, ended up with 4 fouls in the ball game. So let's look at the turnover numbers. 23 turnovers by Kansas City. That led to 36 points by the Tigers, and the Tigers turned it over 11 times tonight, and Kansas City only converted 6 points on 11 Tiger turnovers. So that's the key stat of the ball game for the Tigers. Points in the paint favored Pacific heavily, 36-18 in this one. The Tigers dominate the rebounds, out rebounding the Roos 28-17 officially. The Tigers had 9 offensive rebounds and 7 second chance points. Kansas City with only 1 offensive rebound tonight, which led to 2 second chance points for them. Fast break points, not a lot. Tigers had 3 fast break points. Kansas City had 1. That came after a foul call. And then the Kansas City bench outscored the Tigers bench tonight, 31-28. That's one category Kansas City did win tonight. The bench points, 31-28. The Tigers outscore Kansas City, 42 for Kansas City the last 3 quarters. The Tigers had 71 points in those 3 quarters, and after the first quarter it was all Pacific. So a tough road for Kansas City tonight after the first quarter. They'll go on and play the loser of the ball game tomorrow up in Corvallis, most likely on Monday. Stay tuned to the WNIT website, and you can follow the next game. If you're along the Pacific Tigers radio network, you can check the PacificTigers.com website for official game time and date for round number 2 of the WNIT. So it's all Pacific tonight. They're Tigers victorious 89-60. My name's Don Gubbins for Michael January and all of the Tiger faithful here on the broadcast. We thank you for tuning in and being patient with us as we work through early technical issues. Once again, the final score, Pacific 89, Kansas City 60. we'll talk to you soon, probably Monday night. But stay tuned to the website. We'll talk to you next very, very soon along the Pacific Tigers Radio Network. Good night, everybody.